Welcome back to Mental Models Daily, where we explore one mental model each day to help you elevate your daily decision-making. Today, we're diving into a fascinating principle that's revolutionizing how we think about cause and effect, the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. The Pareto Principle states that roughly 80% of effects come from 20% of causes. It's like a universal imbalance that shows up everywhere, from economics to productivity, from customer relations to personal habits. This principle suggests that things in life are rarely distributed evenly, and that a small number of inputs often drive the majority of results. Think of it as nature's way of telling us where to focus our attention. The principle gets its name from Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who made a fascinating observation in 1896. He noticed that approximately 80% of Italy's land was owned by 20% of the population. What made this observation truly remarkable was that when he looked at other countries, he found similar distributions, but his most famous observation came from his garden. He noticed that 20% of his pea pods contained 80% of his peas. This simple observation in his garden helped crystallize a principle that would later be found applicable across countless fields. In today's business landscape, Twilio, the cloud communications platform, provides a compelling modern example of the Pareto Principle in action. In their early days, they discovered that about 20% of their API features were generating 80% of their customer usage. Instead of trying to perfect every feature equally, they focused their development resources on these high-impact functions. This strategic focus not only improved their most used features, but also helped them grow from a startup to a multi-billion-dollar company. It's like they found the vital few levers that would move their entire business forward. So, how can we apply the Pareto Principle in our daily lives? Firstly, we can use it to optimize our productivity. Take a close look at your daily tasks and identify which 20% are producing 80% of your results. Maybe it's those focused morning hours, specific types of meetings, or particular projects that drive most of your success. By identifying and prioritizing these high-impact activities, you can dramatically improve your effectiveness. It's like having a spotlight that illuminates your most valuable work. Secondly, we can apply it to relationship management. In both personal and professional relationships, you might find that 20% of your relationships provide 80% of your support, opportunities, or joy. This doesn't mean ignoring other relationships, but rather being mindful about where you invest your emotional energy and time. It's like having a relationship compass that helps you navigate your social connections more meaningfully. Thirdly, we can use it for personal development. When learning a new skill, focus on mastering the 20% of fundamentals that will give you 80% of the practical capability. Whether it's learning a language, picking up a musical instrument, or developing professional skills, identifying and focusing on these core elements can accelerate your progress dramatically. It's like having a learning shortcut that gets you to competence more efficiently. In conclusion, the Pareto Principle reminds us that not all inputs are created equal. By identifying and focusing on the vital few factors that drive the majority of our results, we can make better decisions about where to invest our time, energy, and resources. In a world where we're constantly juggling multiple priorities, the 80-20 rule gives us permission to be strategically unbalanced in our approach. Thank you for joining me today on Mental Models Daily. Until next time, may your efforts be focused, your impact be multiplied, and your vital few activities drive extraordinary results. For more mental models, please visit mentalmodelsdaily.com or find us on X or Instagram. Our podcast music was provided by the Podcast Host and Alitu, the podcast maker. Find your own free podcast music over at thepodcasthost.com/free music.